Good afternoon, Mosaic. My name is Ian. Today I would love to give a testimony on how God healed my hatred heart towards my father and molded it into a graceful heart. Growing up, I collected many great memories with my father. Memories of my father flying our family over to the States with the business that he built in 2001, taking a drive over to Hudson River to fish, and many more. But unfortunately, there was this one memory that impacted me negatively. My father declared bankruptcy on his business due to the financial crisis that happened back in 2008. This led to him flying out to Korea 2 years after, in February 2010. Was on the car ride to JFK. My parents had an intense argument, and it got to the point where my mother shouted in the moving vehicle. She shouted, "I will jump out of the car if we don't stop this argument." And I was in 8th grade when this happened, and this was the last thing that I wanted to see before my father left. I didn't know the full extent of why my father left, but due to this, I felt abandoned. I started to grow hatred towards my father. I wanted him to apologize immediately. You see, having the feeling of abandonment and hatred made me want to distance myself from not only my earthly father, but my heavenly father. But as a 13-year-old, I still had many curiosities, and this curiosity was prayer. Curiosity about if God would hear my prayers even though I had so much hatred in my heart. This curiosity turned eventually into a prayer. I asked God 2 questions. Why did my father, who cared for his family, leave? And when will I be able to see him again to have this missed conversation? Will God ever hear my prayers despite having so much hatred? You see, God was slowly working on me because for years I prayed. I did not stop until I got an answer. For years, there were no firm answers. There were times it felt empty, and there were times where God spoke to me saying, "In time, Yoon, just wait." For 13 years passed, and on January 30th, 2023, I received an answer, but not the answer that I wanted to hear. My family received a call message. We received the news that my father had a hemorrhagic stroke, and he was in a coma for 2 days, and he woke up with the right side of the body fully paralyzed. Sorry, our whole family was in shock. And as soon as there was 2 months of healing, as soon as he was out of rehab, I immediately booked a flight to see him to go to Korea. I was able to spend a few days with him. And during these few days, my feeling of absence started to fade away. During the second to last night of my trip, my father and I had shared a meal together. We had a tejigarbi, and he said this to me. It was really delicious too, but he said this to me. "Son, I am so sorry. I am so sorry for leaving the family and not being present during you and your sister's poor stage's life. I'm sorry. I'm a terrible father. For me, this apology felt so foreign to me because even though I desperately wanted this in the beginning, it didn't feel right. He told me that he idolized money when he lost it all. It was his pride that damaged him more and led him to leave the family behind with many debts. I couldn't accept his apology because I felt like seeing my father in a better condition physically and spiritually is all that I needed. So I embraced my father knowing I had so much hatred for him in the beginning, but I really felt like God softened my heart in this missed conversation, the prayers I got to share with my Heavenly Father for 13 years. Because isn't this what God does for us? Doesn't He embrace and accept who we are? When we obey and stay faithful to Him, doesn't our heart of hatred turn into a heart of grace? For me personally, having a time of reconciliation with my father meant that I needed to know my own sins, which was the amount of hatred I had that caused me to distance myself from God. my earthly father. But God showed me a way to run to him by making my curiosity into a prayer of healing and breaking my chains of hatred into love and embracing my Father. He was working in my Father's heart and my heart during all these years of prayer, that I needed God's grace, that I couldn't hold on to this unhealthy anger any longer. So God pushed me to pray more, and I persevered. 13 long years, and God showed me healing both for my father and myself, that he poured down his grace unto me and my father who I love dearly, that I can share laughter with just like the days before he left. And I hold him dearly and love him so much. Seeing my father healthy, able to run and walk, able to talk again, it's the best feeling in my life, best feeling for anyone whose son has been distant from their father. Thank you for hearing my testimony, Mosaic. I hope this is a blessing to you guys. Thank you.